Wait. Miss Celestial says she has a message from God. She says she has a message from God with upcoming unfolding events. Are you a believer? Check this out.
The church needs to be busy interceding to God. It is not that we presume to change the prophecies. These things are prophesied. The beginning of sorrows has to happen. That means the sorrows will definitely come to many homes, for it is prophesied. But there is nothing wrong with asking God, nevertheless, to show mercy, so that perhaps a mother or a child could be granted a little bit more time, which makes all the difference, especially if these things are happening in nations, countries, I'm counting America, by the way, that do not know the Lord. What I've been seeing is that God is going to allow these things to happen. We are going to be tried and tested by things that sometimes we will not prevail over. People will lose their lives. And so most of the dreams I've been having are dreams of just testing. That's what the dreams are showing. They are showing me so many things that I thank God for, because they are practical things that I have to get a handle on, or they will be costly. See, without getting a handle on the practical things, it will be costly no matter how much you cry. You cry and the angel for your life will sit right next to you and say, you know, it's a shame. Better luck next time. So I can share with you one of these dreams. I dreamt that there was I would call it a travel terminal. You're having dreams about travel terminals. You're having dreams about, where all the trains meet. You're having dreams about being at train hubs. You're having dreams about being at bus hubs. You're having dreams about being at the ferry, and you're very rushing to get the ferry. You're rushing to get a flight and things like that. You are in a season of transition, because all those things are modes of transport. So those are modes of transport, and God is showing you that shift, movement, travel. It might be natural travel, or it just might be spiritual travel, but usually when you're seeing boats, buses, trains, planes, ferries, and things like that, you're actually seeing God showing you that I'm literally going to shift you. I'm going to move you. And so I've been having tons of dreams like that, but most of the dreams, what they're signaling is a battle with time. That's what they keep showing. That's what they keep signaling, a battle with time, a mad rush with time. And so I'm seeing these dreams and I'm leaning into these dreams because the benefit is there. Transition will always end in a blessing for a committed Christian. A woman gets pregnant. She's not pregnant forever. It's a transition. She's on her way from being whatever she was into now something that she will always be, which is a mother. And so that period of pregnancy is her transition from her life as woman into her life as woman plus nurturer, mother. And so I had a dream where I was at a very busy bus terminal. Very busy bus terminal. I mean, the buses were coming in and going out, coming in and going out. And here's the thing. Every bus had some kind of little, exactly what we have with the buses now, the pop-up thing, and then it shows you the bus is coming in 10 minutes and the bus is coming, the next one after it is coming in 15 minutes. So it's showing the times, and at the top it is showing the bus. Now normally at a normal bus terminal, because that's the bus's route, the only things that flicker and change are the times. The B49 is coming in 15 minutes, and then you're looking at it, then it will go coming in 9 minutes, then coming in 7 minutes, like that. And then the next one is also changing. The top always says B49, and it doesn't change because that's part of the set route of the B49 or the Q31. And this gives us something known as assurance. It gives us something known as certainty. You walk to a B49 bus stop without even thinking. It's your route. You use it every day. You never expect to get there and see it say M35, because that's a Manhattan bus. M35. If it says B49, that's Brooklyn 49. It's never going to change because that's the bus's route. This terminal that I went to, the top was a blank. Every place where a bus was supposed to come and park, it would have times, it had slots for times, but the top where it's supposed to tell you what bus is there was blank. And so just imagine tons and tons and tons of people. This is representative of all the people who are in the process of transition. This is just looking at how the whole world, those who have entered into their phase of transition, from one level to another level, from one place to another place, they've entered into that, and then God is showing me that. And I come into this terminal and I'm seeing desperate races. This is the first thing I'm noticing, that the people are not standing at assigned bus stops and just waiting the way we wait for them to call boarding on the plane, the way we wait for them to call boarding at Amtrak. It wasn't like that. People had their luggage and they were tensed up. And then sometimes I would just see this desperate race. So I'm standing at one terminal, but then sometimes I would see the people at another terminal all break out in a run. They would all break out in a run, and they're running, they're pulling children, they're pulling luggage, they're just running. And I wonder why all these people are breaking out and running. But I'm not going to leave the line, because we're listening for that announcing voice, because there's not enough information on the terminal sticks. When you're in transition and you're the kind of person who thinks that Jesus is going to call you and say, whatever your name is, I have come to give you the full breakdown of my plans for you, because I know that you have questions, and I would hate for you to have any doubt at all. Because why would I want you to trust me by praying to me incessantly for even half a sentence from my mouth? No, dear one. I have come to wake you up, to tell you everything at one go, so that you don't need me anymore and you think that you've got it and you can handle it on your own. Who has Jesus ever done that to? This is a step-by-step walk. He will light a little bit of the path at a time, and then you will keep up and walk, or you will get lost in the bushes, because once he starts his pace, he's going to keep his pace until he gets to the destination. And when he looks back, he expects to see that you're behind him, following as you were supposed to. So I'm not willing to leave my place, because I was saying that in transition, you're not going to get all the details. It's impossible. The details you get, you will pray for them. You will seek for them. You will say, God, I already saw the first dream in January, and I know what it means. And then I started praying about it, and I wanted to know what it meant. I wanted to get deeper understanding. And you know how you answered me, God? I had a second dream, or something happened at work that let me know that there's going to be a shift soon. I think they're moving me to Philly. I think they're moving me to Oregon. I think that there might be an opening in Florida, and I'm all for it. But the thing is, God, how do I make this shift? Because I've still got so many things rooted here. And so you're going to start leaning into that transition, and you're going to start praying for understanding, for wisdom, so that God can help you with the transition. And so I'm listening, because I have to be flexible. I can already see that none of the buses are giving information. So that means we're all intently listening to the lady saying, the next streamliner is coming in at terminal B5, coming in 5 minutes, and then that terminal will light up. Sometimes the people who were supposed to be at terminal B5 were 10 terminals, 10 stops, 10 bus berths away. That's what would cause that outbreak of running, because you go and stand and nothing is lit up, so you don't actually know where you are, so you just kind of join a line. But then they tell you that the terminal you're going to is lighting up, and it's all the way over there. That means that you have to get the kids, the dog, the everything, and get there. And so this is what was causing these mad dashes. Very rarely, but occasionally it did happen. The lady would say, Greyhound this coming in at C9 coming in 2 minutes. So you don't even get told it's 15 minutes. Sometimes C9 just bursts out, and it's coming in 2 minutes. And you know what C9 is, for those of you who might still be confused? C9 is an opportunity that you didn't plan on. C9 is an open door that can appear at any time, which is why I always am amazed at Christians who will start their day at 11:30 or something. And I'm thinking, what is happening with you? A wise person, you wake up and you put all the responsible things that you have to do. If it's feeding the dog, if it's doing whatever, you put them at the head of the day so that at least the rest of the day is not top heavy. And then if something should come into the day, you think, wow, I'm so glad I got that out of the way. Procrastinators, you are going to suffer like you've never suffered in the times that are coming, because I've already told you that you will be told that you have a month to complete a project. And you know what you're going to do? You're actually going to listen to that stuff and space the project across an entire month. And then they're going to come and tell you that the market has crashed in Copenhagen and can we have that tomorrow? You know, corporate, they will do that, and they will look you in your eyes, whatever color you have, and they will look at you as if you can finish a 1-month project in a day. And then they'll say something like, we'll have Randy help you. And we already talked about Randy. He's the useless guy that does nothing. All Randy will say is, I could go get pizzas if you like, so that we can have something to eat while we work. Randy's not going to work. You're going to do that project. And when you fail, they will act like they never told you that you had a month. You're going to space the project as if you have 2 weeks. If you get the entire month, God bless you. But if you don't play games so that you get fired. Very rarely, C9 would come up, this sudden opportunity coming in quick, and guess what? All the people who needed to be at C9, somehow, miraculously, by God's blessing, most of them would be at C9, and maybe there would just be one guy coming, huffing over from 2 births away. He wouldn't be too far. And this is the dream that I saw. I was standing and I was waiting to have my bus called, and I was very tense because I was thinking, my Father, what if my birth is all the way at the other side of the terminal? Those are the kinds of dreams that I have been having. Now imagine if I just rolled over and thought, oh wow, a travel dream. There's nothing like that. You wake up and you see a dream like that, and you immediately start to adjust what you're eating, when you're eating, and how much you're eating, because it's now fasting season, or you're going to miss what God is showing you. You get on it. You were supposed to balance on it, which means that you constantly had to be able to balance your legs, balance your knees, balance your ankles and your hips, and not fall. If you fell, you were asked to leave the class. And I was in that class with people I knew, and a lot of them were asked to leave the class. But it was something about that thing, it just came naturally to me. If the thing was tilting, I just tilted backward when it was tilting forward to balance it out. If it was tilting forward, I just tilted back to balance it out. And if it was getting bouncy, I just steadied myself. And the instructor came to me and he told me, you're really good at this. Have you done this thing before? And I said, actually, no, I've never seen it until today when you brought it out. It's a very strange dream, and God was teaching me it's just about flexibility, it's about adaptability. And I'm telling you, as a Christian, if you are an arrogant person, I don't even know what you're doing in Christianity, but I do know this: if you love God, even if you have a problem with pride, if you have a problem with being lifted up, exalted, you always want people to know, oh, it's me, or it's this. You can't stay out of other people's business, you can't stay out of other people's questions. I can tell you the one thing that will save you. If you are an arrogant person, proud person, lifted up, exalted, but you love God, God is going to give you the gift of humbling you. Notice how I didn't say the gift of love. He's going to give you the gift of humbling you. And when God has humbled you, you will be like Apostle Paul. You will be like Samson after his eyes were gone. You will be like every person that God gave a slap of a lifetime. You will be a better person. You will not necessarily have to lose your life, because Pharaoh was someone who could not submit to the training of God. Pharaoh was someone who never found his center of gravity. He never found his humble phase. He was not able to come down. The more that God struck at Pharaoh, the more that Pharaoh lifted himself up like a granite face to the sky, and God basically crushed that man, crushed his nation, crushed his people, because that's what happens to proud people. So if you're someone who can't come down, the good news is that as long as there's a little tiny bit of you that loves God, because many Christians are actually proud. They are born again. They have had the born again experience. They know this Jesus Christ of whom I speak, but their pride, it is their education, it is where they went to school, it is their family name, it is the amount of zeros on your bank account. Jesus will just delete all those things and leave you with $3. And with those $3, you will go to the soup kitchen and you will meet Melissa, the soup kitchen lady from Venezuela, and she will teach you many loving lessons, and you will become a new person. Because if you don't come down, you need to read Isaiah 2. Isaiah 2 itself says that all the tall towers will be humbled. The mountains will be made low. Everything high is going to be cut down. Everybody just thinks, oh no, it's the economy. It's people. It's you too. You who, as you hear me talk, the hairs on your arms are standing up because you know it's you. God is going to help proud people. They're going to come down. These pastors go and enter into demonic covenants with these creatures. And here's how it goes. A man will want to get power, wealth, influence, money, probably attract some beautiful girl to marry, to be an accessory for his ministry. And so he takes his thin, unknown self to go and contract with the mermaid spirits. Within a very short time, this man will begin to attract a following. The words of this man's mouth will be tainted with what is known as the power of seduction. Everything he says, even if he stands in the pulpit and says laundry list, soap, I bought water for my house today, I went and did my groceries. This is the movie I watched last night. The church will erupt in praise and craziness as if he was reading out the entire book of Habakkuk or the book of Haggai and interpreting it with flawless precision. Because these people do not know the word of God. They do not study the scriptures to see if the things the man is telling them is even true. All you need to throw in is 3 or 5 scriptures and they will say, preach on, go deeper into the matter. But the truth of the matter is that they are seduced by, for instance, the oils that the mermaids give these people to rub on their bodies. You have to take special baths when you do these covenants. God has been talking to me about these things. I have been sharing them here and there in the videos, and they are definitely printed on the Master's Voice. These men have to take special baths. They have to get naked and go down to the coast at unbelievable hours. They have to make sometimes human sacrifices. They have to make animal sacrifices. And as they go deeper into the performance of the covenant, because the performance of a demonic covenant is never done. God was saying in the prophecy that it's like joining the gym. When you join the gym, you pay your membership every single month. You can't skip a month because obviously you will not have access to the gym anymore. So they enter into seasonal covenants where they have to make either a big sacrifice or they enter into monthly covenants where they have to keep performing rituals to keep the level of spiritual attraction, keep people coming to the church, keep them trending in the news. And in fact, the South African government does not know what to do with these churches that are so unbridled and undisciplined anymore. People are getting very much hurt in these churches, and the government is at a loss how to stop it. Because even if they say you cannot preach unless you have a pastoral license, or we're investigating you, the people themselves are under such bewitchment that they will fight their government on behalf of these false mermaid, swimming dragon covenant pastors. And so God was showing that these men have to pay a price. For many of them, the price is blood. They will sacrifice their members in the long term. And this is why unexplained deaths keep happening in these churches. God will leave to America no comforts. I'm telling you, you will not be able to in memoriam anyone when God is finished. And that is all I have to say. No one who practices deceit shall dwell in my house. No one who utters lies shall continue before my eyes. Psalm 101 and verse 7. Church of Jesus Christ, you are always the front line of these prophecies. These prophecies, let's just say that the crumbs are for the people who are not saved. The entire fresh cake, baked every time I sit here and I say, Lord, open my mouth. It's for you, the born again. It's for you who claim Christianity. Such a massive, massive responsibility is laid upon our shoulders as Christians. And should we fail it, should we be found false, should we be found to be half in the light and half in the dark, the Lord will not be able to receive us. Just understand that. So if you want to risk your Christianity, you want to risk your soul, you want to risk your eternal resting place, you want it to be a little warmer than usual, you decide that you don't want to be with the Lord in the cool of the garden, you want to be somewhere, Tuareg desert, then continue to live as you live, in compromise, in complacency, in saying everybody lies.
True enough, I will say this. In these days and times, we need to be drawing closer to God. In these days and times, we need to start drawing closer to God. We need to start operating more in the spiritual aspect of things and looking at things in the spiritual aspect. A lot of things is going on in this world. And it seems like the more it continues to spin, the more it continues to spin out of control. And we pay attention to things that are around us. And like I said, we have to be able to tap into the spirituality aspect of it all. Many people are skeptical about Miss Celestial and her prophecies, whether they're true, whether they're false. Well, all you do is pay attention to the things that unfold that she's spoken about, which are several things. She has spoken on several things. She has prophesied about several things, and they have come to pass. She prophesied that Miss Kamala Harris will be our next president, and we're still waiting for that to unfold, and it's looking like it's going to be a no-brainer. It is looking like that prophecy is going to unfold. As of right now, Kamala Harris has a lead in the presidential race against Donald Trump. So I say to my fellow believers in Christ and all the people that are skeptical about what Miss Celestial has to say, she says she's working on God's behalf. God is speaking through her. And another thing I want to bring into question. So back then, when Jesus was walking the earth and he was using people, speaking to people were prophesying. Why now today in 2024, people find it hard to believe that God is still using people just like he used them back then? It blows my mind. So are you really a believer? Are you really a believer? But the same questions that they have today are the same questions they had back then with all the prophets and the prophecies that they would speak. Many people were skeptical about them until things started happening that these prophets were speaking on. And here we are today in 2024. In 2024, still living and watching and hearing people prophesy about certain things and events that are coming to pass and things that are happening and working their way towards what the prophets were talking about. And as for me, as I'm sitting back and I'm watching all these things, I'm telling myself, we got to tap into the spirit. I'm telling myself, we got to get closer to God. I'm telling myself, we got to be aware. We got to be on watch. We got to be alert, because there's some things going on spiritually that a lot of people are looking over. Hey, I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Be sure to drop down in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this video and the things that Celestial has spoken on. Hey, see y'all next time.